So I will tell you about Anna Irbe. She was born 1890 in Latvian territory, but at that time it was Russian Empire. Her father, Kārlis Irbe, was a Lutheran minister at that time. During World War I, they had to leave Latvian territory because the Germans were advancing, so they went to Russia. There, at the age of 24 something, she met a Russian nobleman, got married, they had 2 sons. Before the World War I was over, her husband died of typhoid and also one of her sons. So after war ended, she returned back to Latvia with her father, and her father became the first bishop of the newly established Latvian Lutheran Church. And then, because the Latvian Lutheran Church was just newly established, it had ties with Sweden, and there was a Swedish missionary that came to Latvia, and he challenged the bishop, said, "Now it is time for Latvia to start mission work." And Anna Irbe heard the conversation, and she felt call from God that, yes, this will be my calling. So she went to India for her first 7 years and was a Swedish missionary because she was trained nurse. So she did with medical help, learned Tamil language, served lots of physical, spiritual needs in Tamil Nadu state. Then she came back to Latvia and Europe for a furlough. And because her work was so successful, the idea was now for Latvia to establish their own mission station in India. So she returned back to India in 1933, and for the next 18 years she served in the place. So she established Latvian village, that's how it was called, Latvian village in India. And the name was given Karuna Garapuri, which means the dwelling of the merciful God. So in this time, so of course she was not alone, but she was the only European there. So she established school for around 100 kids, medical ambulance, boarding school, shelter for widows, churches in 11 local villages, around 1,500 baptized believers, 1 European woman. And her idea was loving others. She wrote, "We don't live in this world so that the others would love us, but we would love others. Never request anything for ourselves, not friendship, not compassion, not gratefulness, no matter how entitled we would be for that. That is the love of Christ expects from us. If we will have such love in our heart, then we will not have to despair or feel sad about ungratefulness, hard-heartedness, or injustice of the others. To give ourselves fully to God in ministry and in home." Of course, in 1940, the Soviets occupied Latvia, so the ties between Latvia and India were severed, but there is still a legacy there. There are still 10 churches that continue. There are evening literary classes, there are home for boys, homework classes, sewing classes, short seminars on theology, personal development. So why to follow her example? Very simple. In 1929, Anna wrote, "Christ has not come to the world to get followers, but because of his love, to save the lost." And in 1932, she writes, "When we hear the people around us who suffer, don't we hear the voice of Jesus saying, 'Do you love me? Because I'm the one who suffers. I'm the one who asks for help. Truly I say to you, whatever you have done to these little brothers of mine, you have done to me. Do you love me?'" Thank you.